Why do some people suffer more than others? Life can feel really unfair sometimes. We look around and see people going through horrible things, illness, loss, hardship, whilst other people seem to glide through life untouched. Why is that? Why do some people face so much pain while others escape it? It's a big, tough question. Emanuel Swedenborg, who was a spiritual philosopher, and he had some interesting ideas about suffering and its causes. Some folk have this terrible habit of assuming that anyone who's struggling must have deserved it. If someone is poor or sick or unlucky, they must have done something wrong, right? No, life doesn't work that way. That said, we do sometimes bring trouble on ourselves, don't we? Bad decisions sometimes, recklessness, even self-destructive habits, certainly poor judgment. They can all lead to real consequences. But that doesn't mean every hardship is somebody's fault. Sometimes bad things just seem to happen. Our choices and lifestyles can shape our well-being. Sure, we can't stop aging, but we can increase our risk of illness by neglecting our health, by never exercising, by smoking or taking drugs. And then there's the emotional side of things. Ever tried to numb stress with shopping sprees, with binge eating, or one or too many drinks? It feels good in the moment, but that quick fix never lasts. Before you know it, you're stuck in a cycle, chasing temporary pleasure while your deeper happiness slips further away. Buddhism teaches that attachment to worldly things can lead to suffering. And the philosopher Swedenborg had a similar idea. When we obsess over material possessions or over fleeting pleasures, we block ourselves from deeper, lasting happiness. We've all seen it, haven't we? Someone trapped in a relationship, one that they can't seem to leave, even though it's clearly making them miserable. Love, attachment, confusion, isn't life complicated? Relationships they should bring us joy and support, but sometimes they don't. They bring us the opposite. Whether it's an unhealthy sex relationship, a toxic friendship, or even family ties that drain us, clinging to the wrong people can cause a world of pain. And we can be our own worst enemy in other ways. Ever catch yourself thinking, I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. Now that kind of self-talk can drag you down into feeling anxious and depressed. The way we think about ourselves does matter. If we constantly put ourselves down, we're basically setting ourselves up for suffering. Remember, we're talking about why we suffer. What are the causes of suffering? Sometimes suffering happens because people simply don't think things through. A careless driver causes a car crash. A greedy businessman ruins lives. Someone's pride or stubbornness leads to heartbreak. I remember once when I was a young driver, nearly causing a car crash. It would have been a major accident. I was too eager to overtake the car in front of me. It was undulating road and I couldn't see beyond the undulation of the traffic coming the other way. I was so lucky to manage to avoid the oncoming car. That moment could have changed my life and my family's. and my father's life at that point, because he was in the front seat with me. Thankfully, we got lucky. But not everyone does. Selfish, reckless, or careless behaviour can have huge consequences, not just for the person making the mistake, but for everyone around them. Thinking about causes of suffering, there's the truly dark stuff as well, isn't there? The suffering that's caused by violent crime, by abuse and exploitation. That is suffering at its most horrifying, because it's inflicted by one human intentionally on another. Swedenborg wrote that people consumed by self-love and greed can go to extreme lengths sometimes to hurt others, to seek revenge, to tear others down, just to build themselves up. And history and contemporary politics is full of examples of this. It's heartbreaking. What about natural disasters? They can cause human suffering, can't they? Earthquakes, floods, hurricanes. They're all out of our hands. But human choices in the way we respond can make things worse. Building on floodplains, failing to prepare for disasters, ignoring climate change, dumping toxic waste. These things magnify the damage. And disease is another example. Sure, nature plays a role, but so do human beings. Poor sanitation, lack of sufficient health care available to people, extreme poverty. These things could be addressed better, but often they are not. Now, here's a fascinating idea from Swedenborg. What if the chaos we see in nature, the storms, the disasters, the disease, what if it's actually connected to our human consciousness? He believed that just as goodness and beauty in the world reflect spiritual harmony amongst people, then the ugly, painful parts of life reflect something darker about humans, a kind of collective negativity or disorder. It's a mind-blowing concept, and whether you agree or not, it makes you think. At the end of the day, then suffering seems to come from all kinds of places, our own mistakes, the actions of others, even deeper forces we don't fully understand. Sometimes we reap what we sow, our own choices leading to pain. Other times we suffer because of what other people have done. And if Swedenborg was right, maybe we even suffer because of what generations before us have set in motion.